the FNL Network Talkshow.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eugenia Kuzmina, and welcome to this episode of FNL Network Talkshow. I'm here with my amazing co-hosts, Rocco, Jeffrey, and Marianne, and we have three topics to discuss today and share with you. And one of the first topics that we're going to discuss is personal tips for success. I think we all have different ways of achieving, our success and what is success. So I want to address the topic to Rocco first.
Okay. Wow. Well, unfortunately, people do judge the book by its cover. And what I mean by that is the way you present yourself and the way you carry yourself, the way you dress, the way you groom yourself, people will treat you differently. And I'll share a story with you. I was about 17 years old and I was in Milan, Italy. I got shipped off there. I got a contract to be a model a very long time ago. I won't tell you how many years ago, but a while ago. And I walked Via Monte Napoleone. It's like the Rodeo Drive of Milan. And I was young. I was probably wearing Birkenstocks and shorts and a tank top. I don't know. It was probably hot. And I wasn't dressed amazingly fashionable, or I wasn't dressed even probably that stylish. And I walked into a very high-end store and I was approached by the security guards. And basically, they made me feel so uncomfortable, I left. Well, fast forward a couple months later, after being in Milan for a little bit and doing some jobs and earning a bit of money, I went back to the same store and I walked in, but this time I was dressed up. I think I had just got out of a modeling job of some sort and I was put together and my hair was done and clean shaven and really nice clothes. And I walked in and, can we get you a glass of wine? Can we get you a cappuccino? It was a completely different experience. And it hit me like a million tons. Wow. If I dress this way, I will be treated this way. If I dress that way, I'll be treated that way. So the way you take care of yourself and you have the book cover, which is your appearance, your clothes, your skin, your hands, your nails, people will see that and judge you on it. I know it's superficial and materialistic, but it's the way it is. Also, something that's very fascinating. If you take care of yourself, you'll feel better about yourself. If you're slummy and not taking care of maybe what you're eating or the way you're dressed or not brushing your teeth when you need to, not mouthwash, you don't really feel good about yourself. You're kind of beating yourself up in a way. But if you actually give yourself love, which we all need, you will feel better and then you will shine. People will feel that, they'll see it, and they'll treat you differently.
Rocco, I love that. It reminds me of a fun fact. I remember watching Pretty Woman, when she kind of goes through this transformation. And of course, looks matters so much. I can see it with my husband who is, runs Miramax, and he has to change his wardrobe all the time. And it's like, there are fashion trends, right? Like on FNL Network, you guys can all follow that. But there's also personal style and, just how you said, like looking good and feeling good. I think it all comes from there. I'm fascinated, by how as humans, we definitely make this judgment on like first appearance, even though it can prove completely wrong, but there is that element. So thank you for sharing. And I'll ask that question from Marianne. What do you think?
One of my favorite things, and this is a little bit different than a lot of other people might think, but my favorite tip for success is to take rejection as redirection. So I think a lot of people focus so much on the negative, and they may be looking for a job or an opportunity, and if it doesn't work out, instead of focusing on the negative, focus on the positive and focus on what we can learn from it and where we can go from there. Because one of the things that I think marks a successful person is that they don't give up. So if you give up really easily in your first rejection, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just not good enough, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's for a job, anything. I think if, to be successful, you've got to be able to take that constructive criticism, but then take that rejection and say, okay, I'm going to look at it as I'm being redirected to something better, something that I'm going to be better at better for, and it will be better for me. And I've tried to apply that in my personal life and in, jobs that I've had in every aspect. And the older I get, the more I'm starting to see that when you have a positive outlook, the right opportunities find you and it just clicks. So that would be my favorite tip as far as being successful.
Marion, how do you like step out of rejection? It's an interesting question. Like, do you have a relationship with that? Do you just okay, block it out? Or what is your advice for that? Like, how do you process?
I have faced a lot of rejection. I have faced a lot of it in my personal life from some, biological family members that I tried to meet as an adult, as an example. It hurt really bad. But what I learned from that is, okay, I have to focus on the positive qualities that I possess and what I bring to the table. And if they don't see that, that's not my problem. And I'm just not meant to be in certain areas. So I don't block it out. I sit with it and I think about it. And I'm like, okay, let's redirect our thoughts to positive thinking and think about all the good things that I do have in my life. And then look for opportunities in the future. Look for other, if you look for the bad, you're going to find it. But if you look for the good, you will also find that, including good people and people that want you in their life or good opportunities that are going to be good for you.
Do you guys have anything to add to that?
Yeah, it was the rejection, what I've learned, which was, I love when Marion talks about that. Sometimes we don't realize that rejection is a good. Not trying to fit in with what everybody else is doing, and it allows you to be separated, to be different, so that people can notice the uniqueness about you. So I learned to take my rejection and use it as a good, and not try to fit in with everybody, so that I can stay focused on the things that I'm trying to achieve. So sometimes it's good, because being involved in a group of people, and you'll never be noticed. A lot of times everybody wants to be like everybody else. And sometimes trying to be like everybody else, you get washed in the mist, and people can't see the different personalities of each individual, because everybody's trying to fit in. So rejection is a good. I learned that in the Bible. I just want to tell y'all that. So I took that as a good.
So true. That's so true. I can so relate to that. Growing up in post-Soviet Russia, where everybody has to be a worker, and you literally have to dress the same, and wear the same uniform, and everybody graduated from our school being a lawyer. If you actually don't follow the same path, people really are scared about you being different. So you have to have a courage to be rejected, and I think fall in love with that. So I totally relate to whatever you say. And Jeff, what is your tip for success, or a few tips?
Okay, so my hobby for success is completing my mandate tasks. It doesn't necessarily have to mean so much to people, but meaning more to me. What I set on the table to do and achieve it, that's part of the success. Focus and execution is a major thing, because a lot of times in life we get distracted by people and things, and it takes us off of our purpose of what we're trying to achieve. So I feel like a lot of times that if we stay focused on what we're trying to achieve, everything else becomes like a domino effect, and we won't get sidetracked and try to, because I used to be a person that I never finished anything. A new idea would come to me, and I jump to that new idea. And then what I learned to do was, when I finished the first thing, the other thing kind of sets in motion to the connection of the thing that I initially wanted to do. So I learned to just allow my mandate task to be finished and completed, and then start the next thing, the next chapter, or next thing I want to do. So focus and execution.
So interesting to be around so many creatives, and I think being a creative artist, like you always kind of bombarded with all these ideas, right? And sometimes I find it's amazing how creative partners find each other too and kind of complement in that way, right? Like the left and right brain.
Yes. So I just learned, as an artist, she said that once I complete now, especially in fashion, once I complete the collection, the magic doesn't happen until the models. I love the models. I don't think they get enough credit because I feel like our work would not come to life if it was not for the model. They make that garment come to life. When they put it on and they love your pieces or love your line, it makes a difference when it goes down the runway. So I always encourage my models and say that, you know what, without you, I would not be who I am. My brand would not be what it is, because it could just be hanging on the rack and people see it as beautiful pieces, but the pieces doesn't come to life until I see that model walk down the runway. That's my joy. That's my magical moment. It's like the woo off for me. So yeah, they make it happen for me.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so excited for your collaboration. Can we share it? What you have coming up?
Well, I just finished.
Okay, we can't share yet, but something big is coming for you with a few models, right? And a lot of garments that you have to finish, right?
Yeah, it's been thrown at me and I have to stay focused because it's a lot, but I know that nothing's going to take me off of what I'm doing with my FNL. They are my team. So I'm just going to, I definitely have to get with Rocco. I love him. That is like my brother. And see how I can work out that week that I'll be gone, because it's only for a week. It's not like a long-term thing. And make sure that I'm going down the right road, because it's all new to me and I don't want to be pulled in the wrong direction, because I feel like ever since everything happened on Saturday, everybody has been bombarding me and I have to wean out what is true and what is a hidden agenda. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to be in my quiet place and not allow things to distract. But yeah, y'all the first to know.
We'll keep it a secret for now between us. But speaking of that, I was thinking about the subject and I'm reading currently an amazing book. It's written by psychologist Martha Beck and it's called Path of Integrity. She is a personal therapist to Oprah Winfrey, so she's pretty incredible. And I find her book fascinating because I think a lot of success is very relative, right? There's a success that our parents project onto us. There's a success that our culture projects into us. You can win the biggest Oscar. You can do the things that your parents wanted you to do. What do you do after? A lot of times people will say, they feel empty the next day. So I think the way you really succeed in life is if you be truly, really authentic to what you do. And what I love that you said, and all of you guys said, that it's really important to like deal with failure and present yourself, but also have self-love and also know who you are, like really deeply, and what makes you happy and what is authentic to you. And also I think there's no one way to reach success, not one way habit to success. And a lot of times when you start out in any business, you of course read all these books on emotional intelligence and Dale Carnegie, like I advise all my kids, Laws of Power, all these amazing, incredible books that have, kind of A to B plan. But after that, as a creative, you have to find your own path. There is no one way to succeed in anything. So I think whatever habit makes you happy, like for me personally, it's creative writing. And I think for a lot of parents, they struggle to kind of combine parenting, and the hours of like taking your kids at 6 a.m. and then, all the things that come up to you during the day. And like, when do you find time to really be creative and do fulfilling things that make you really happy? So a lot of times for me, it's not like waking up at 4. For me, maybe it's staying up later and taking a bath and like writing after with a candlelight. I think it's so important to find your own personal path, and it takes some time and reflection and meditation. And a lot of people that I met on my path who are super creative are extremely eccentric. They have habits that nobody else have. And it always fascinates me, to just learn all these figures, like how they get to do what they do. I mean, Einstein discovered things in the bathtub. So I would always encourage to think from the left brain. And I think playfulness is something that I like to do, except for meditation, so that way you find new solutions to your problems. And of course, dealing with rejection, I think in any endeavor, it's a big thing. And kind of being in love, like my personal way to deal with rejection is just, being in love with that, like actually going for the things that scare you and failing and failing and failing, because something amazing will come out. And you kind of learn how to fly after, right? And you do things that nobody did before. I created a show, The Supermodels of Comedy, actually, to share with you. And it's a stand-up show. I decided to cast models who can do stand-up. And we did it for Katie Ford, who is ex-boss from Ford Models. And it was all for anti-human trafficking. And when we started it, it was like, models can be funny. And like, what is this? But it was a huge success. And I think coming up with like new ideas and something that's never been done before, it's really interesting. So that's my share. But if you guys want to add something like on your side that you thought about it.
I want to say something because you were talking about your purpose and what you did with the doing the comedians, models of comedians, and you did human trafficking. What I'm learning now with me in fashion, a lot of the people that I deal with as far as models aren't really models. They have not been acclimated as models, but I see this this on them, and I take them under my wing. And what I'm learning about them is, as they were growing up, they were rejected. And I think a lot of people that I'm being connected to relate to who I was as a person. And because of my deliverance and because of me being an influencer now, I think that is helping me to be a mentor and a role model to them. And I'm loving the position that I'm actually being shifted into, because now I become this teacher that can give back in more ways than one. They're sitting in my shop and they're here 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. Some of the models, they're learning how to sew, they learn how to put garments together. It turns from a barbershop to like this artsy vibe in the evening. And I love it. I sit back and watch these young millenniums not being out in the street, but allowing their creativity to blossom under my umbrella. And I think that's the part that really I'm really starting to allow to enjoy. And I love the fashion, everything, but to see me give back to somebody else that don't see it in themselves and build them up and see them actually moving their purpose, that gives me so much joy and so much happiness. And I'm good. I'm so good. Y'all have no idea, just to see that. And I'm experiencing that right now. And I missed that for a while. The suffering and the heaviness that I went through in the 6 months when my family transitioned and moved, from where I lived it to other places. I'm getting a new family, and it's family that I can relate with. It's artists, it's designers, and it feels good. And on FNL, I can't explain, y'all. It just feels really, really good. I'm in such a good place with the people that I'm meeting. And the Zoom is a blessing because I'm meeting people from Hollywood to, Carolina to, Florida. And it's amazing. It's just the connecting factor. So I just wanted to say that.
So your milkshake brings all the creatives of the yard.
I know that song too.
That's right.
Commercial break.
Commercial break. Let's go get all milkshakes.
I love that. Just to end that, I think it's so beautiful that success is not about yourself, right? It's about like bigger picture than you and like giving back. It's just amazing. And coming to the second topic of the evening or day, whatever you watch the show, we're talking about shopping, you guys, getting back to Rocco. So let's discuss this topic. I noticed that the last few years, right, we've all been in the house and nobody goes out to like any artisan shops. A lot of places in LA where I live, I love all of these small little stores, they've been closing. And everybody's getting Amazon packages, a lot of things went online. And I know it is the future, we can't deny it, like it's happening. What is your thought on that? Like, what is your preference? What do you feel like where it's going? What is the trends? Like, how do you transition with your business? How do you personally deal with that? And I'll go with Jeffrey.
So I think it works both ways. It just depends on the person. Me personally, I like to go out and shop because I like to put on the garments. I like to feel them. I think you're missing the element when you actually have them deliver it to you. I think the experience is actually going to the mall and going to different places and seeing people. I think it's happening now because of the pandemic. I don't think everybody is going to want to shop, forever online. I just don't see it. I just think it's just another way. If you choose not to go out, you can order something, but I think people are still want to do that, one-on-one with people, because that's what we're supposed to do. That's the joy, is communicating and connecting with people. I don't see us being so computerized where we're ordering stuff. It misses the enjoyment of going out and seeing people dress, how they dress. That's my joy. When I shop, I see people dress different, and sometimes I get a vibe off of them and I want to recreate it in my own way. So yeah, that's my intake. I think it works both ways. I think it's 50-50 right now. And I think it'll be a lot of people that want to do it online, then a lot of people that just choose not to want to shop online, because sometimes you get stuff when it comes in the mail and it doesn't fit right. You just like, okay, this is not. So I don't want to trust that. That's where I'm at. I don't want to trust just ordering stuff offline all the time.
How do you integrate it into your business? Like, do you adjust to whatever is happening, or do you try to be like, okay, I'm haute couture and I'd rather just sell like piece by piece, and do it personally? Like, what is your personal take on business?
I like to do the personal right now because I feel like it's cheaper, and you can do Zoom. I could tell when a young lady or a young man stands in front of me, I can pretty much tell if they're a size 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. I can look at their body structure and I can kind of visualize it. So it works. But like I said, I think the one-on-one for me is more personalized. I get to see the person. I get to feel their personality of how they like to dress. If it's bubbly or it's just a casual person. I get that from that person one-on-one. So I hope that we don't go all the way to that. I just don't. I'm just a people person. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Marianne, what do you think?
I'm with Jeff on this one. Now, okay, I do enjoy Amazon. I will say that. If I see something that I like, it's very easy to just click that button and it'll be here in 2 days. And I love that convenience factor. If I'm looking for a specific item, I just go right to Amazon and I buy it. But there are certain things that you want to try on in the store, because there have been times that I have ordered something in what I thought is my size and it fits different. So I think certain garments, it's easier to try them on in person if you're shopping for clothes, because I mean, I'm sure, Eugenia, you probably know this, different like clothing brands, they fit different. And so where you might have I might have a size 6 in this, or I might need an 8 in another brand. It just depends. So I do enjoy going out and shopping, but I also enjoy the convenience factor of shopping at home. So I think it could be both. I think it could easily be both. I think the convenience factor for those that are still maybe a little bit cautious about going out I think it's great for them to be able to shop online. But I also think that it's good to have places you can go in person and you can socialize and you can try things on. So those are my thoughts.
Okay, cool. Thank you. How about you, Rocco?
I agree with everything they both said. I agree with it. Personally, I'm fine buying accessories, gloves, shoes, glasses, sunglasses, products, hygiene stuff online. But when it comes to clothes, I want to see how it fits. The only time I would buy something online clothing wise is if it was like a reorder of something that I knew that brand, I wear size X in that brand, then I would feel comfortable. But even sometimes you can have two different larges and they both are different on you, so ultimately, because I'm 6'5", I'm a big guy, and I've tried on so many clothes where it's the same size, but one size is a little bit longer than the arms. It's like not all of them are identical. So, I believe with fast fashion and technology, we will probably move more towards automated, online, quick. But personally, and maybe I'm old school, I want to go try the clothes on. And if it doesn't fit, get the next size or size up, size down. Business wise, I think any type of manufacturer, brands that are selling clothes, yes, maybe the online may be more of a convenience and maybe even cheaper because now they don't have to own and operate a brick and mortar store. But something they have to take in consideration is all those returns. Like, imagine you're shipping out all those garments and now you have to pay to get them back. You have to process the return. Maybe they stink. Maybe they don't smell good. Maybe the customer did something to them. So at the end of the day, it costs you more to not have that brick and mortar store, because if a client comes into your store, they could try on, make sure it fits, and then buy it. I bet you there are less returns in a brick and mortar store than there are with online transactions, because I've been to stores to buy clothes and they don't have a dressing room, so I can't try it on. So I'll buy what I like in many different sizes, go home, try it on, and then go back and return the ones that don't fit. I'm like, okay, that's extra time. But that's my opinion.
I love it. I love the business perspective. I mean, for me, thinking about it is like singularity is here for sure. It's here to stay. And it's interesting watching like Hollywood, for example. A lot of times we do shows and people trying to figure out a way to sell clothes from the shows you're watching, right? So I think the future will be definitely you can press a pause, put a finger on whatever you're watching and like buy the shirt of the TV show, right? I think that's where it's going. And all these companies who are online, like Net-a-Porter, and I think there's all kind of companies, right? Like all fashion empires that were created through online shopping and experience in a way. But personally, me, I definitely feel so, really care about personal small businesses. For me, it's so important to have like artisans and art. And I was so sad. A lot of places in pandemic, they were closed, so I can't go and touch things. It's not only about clothes, but little small like soap shops or, even food shops. A lot of times my family was trying to shop online and food doesn't come specifically super fresh, or, you throw out a lot of it. Like I love the experience of going to the store and getting organic, like fresh food, maybe not so much. It's not about quantity of the experience, but really about quality. And I remember going back to Paris in pandemic, and there's still the culture of that doesn't change that fast. I think America is definitely like more advanced industrial culture. So it was great to just go in, in December and buy special gifts for my family that are not like made for everybody, so it's one of a kind gift. And I think I really appreciate that about life in general. So yeah, I think I definitely am trying to support local businesses in so many ways. And, also another point that I want to bring is, like maybe millennials, there's a lot of brands that are much cheaper and they copy those artists, those designers they created. And I think there's a lot of protection for designers in this field. I hope there's going to be more of like copyright and things like that, because I think
it would be amazing if there was copyright for designers. That's one thing I think is so ridiculous. A designer can make a garment and you can't copyright it, and then someone else can rip it off. You walk into Zara and you'll see copies of all the high-end designers. Sorry for interrupting, but I'm actually really passionate about that because I work with a lot of designers.
Well, here you go, right? I mean, I saw it modeling from like when I was a child. I saw Yves Saint Laurent, I worked with him personally, and then I saw Zara, and then I was working with Forever 21, who would come and copy the things. And I understand it's an experience like the teenagers, anybody who can't afford it, they want to have that, experience, but also the quality really suffers. And what that means is the labor suffers. A lot of times H&M, they had to go public and kind of change their whole campaign to be more organic and like where they produce things. I think a lot of times as humans, we just become like unconscious of like change and next one garment. It's like $5 and like I throw it out. So, we're not serving ecosystem a lot of times. And what I was really excited, actually, this t-shirt that I'm wearing, it's from Cornit Fashion Week, and they created this kind of like organic fashion week in Los Angeles and Israel. And they do work with 3D printing. They integrate a lot of times like t-shirts where you print it online and it's by designers, but then they're designers who showcase their, recyclable collections. And I love that fashion is moving.
Can I jump in
towards
for a
that.
second?
Absolutely.
So that Fashion Week, if you guys are interested, you can actually look for, I think we have 2 episodes on FNL Network. It's called Tel Aviv Fashion Week. And you'll see that Fashion Week. I went there with a team in Tel Aviv before COVID, and we covered it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's super great. I love when we all have a conversation. I love how passionate you are about the subject. Speaking of like rights and for designers, for Jeffrey, for example, I'm really excited about models for having their union. Actors do have their union, and like designers, they have to start something as well because it's so much work.
Right? How do we start that though? Like it's hard for me as a designer. Like once I create and my pieces go down the runway, or like I'm on FNL right now, IDFW showroom, and the thing is, anybody can take my creation and reproduce it, and it could be somebody that's already doing really well, and they can mimic. How do I really protect my creativity?
I have an idea.
Look,
when someone writes a script, they submit the script to the WGA, which is the Writer Guild of America, and they pay a little fee, and it gets copyrighted and it's registered with them. So if anyone else tries to write a script and they copy that script, they're protected. If you want to copyright a logo or a trademark, you take the sample of that logo or that trademark and you send it to the US Copyright Office. You pay a fee, it gets registered in their library, and it's copyrighted. It would be amazing if designers can take their sketches, their not sketch like their art sketch, but the computer patterns, like the pattern, the technical flats, I think is what they call them, which is the actual patterns that are used to cut the fabric and put the garments together, and copyright that. And then now, if another designer copied your design and you have your copyrighted patterns of your specific outfit, and then you see that outfit on someone else, well, now you can go after them. It's not in existence now, but it would be amazing if it was.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it will add so much quality to, the design. Like going out now shopping, a lot of times I can't shop for things because I can see it was copied, and, it's unfortunate because you want to support the art. Okay, well, I think we should go to our last topic, and it's out of the box tips for health. I think it can be a broad topic, but I was just curious, like your personal experience, coming through. We're all here and lucky, and maybe you can share something how, you kind of supported your health through this past few years, or some tips just in general that you use maybe from like growing up, or something you can use when you have no medicine and you're stuck somewhere, I don't know, in Antarctica or Siberia, like I do. I'll start with you, Marianne.
Okay, so some out of the box tips. Obviously, they say exercise and eat healthy, and that's very important. But as far as out of the box, one of mine would be to get outside in nature and enjoy it. Because when you're stuck inside all the time, I don't think that's good for you. I think it's good to get out in the fresh air, get out in the sun with your sunscreen, but get out in the sun and get in that fresh air. For me, spending time with my multitude of animals. I have about 30 here on our farm. So, and they're all different kinds. So getting out there, spending time with my animals, getting into the fresh air. Journaling is another. I think journaling is good for the soul. I think it's very important to be connected to our heart and how we feel. And I think journaling is a very good part of getting those emotions out. And then meditating. Meditating is another thing that I think is a really good out of the box health tip, because it has spiritual benefits, mental benefits, and then also physical. I think for me, I sleep better when I do that versus when I just go through the day and I'm completely stressed and I don't take the time to relax and pause. I think everybody needs time to just take a moment, take a breather, and relax. I think that's a big health tip that probably goes unnoticed more than it should. So those are just a few of the ones that I like.
Marion, what do you think about goat yoga? It's became so popular recently, and I was just curious about this. You know, you were talking about animals, and I think you're a person to ask, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I am all for it. I've even thought about having my own goat yoga at some point, because goats are very playful. They're very fun, especially when they're babies. Oh my goodness. And my family has a bunch of them, and it is just so fun to play with them. And like you were saying, as far as being playful, I think that's a great way to keep your mind and your body healthy, is to be playful. Get out there and you're moving your body, you're using your muscles, but you're also laughing and you're having fun and you're cuddling with these animals that are adorable. Absolutely. That would be something I would absolutely love to do.
Is it like you're stretching with the goats, or do you just play with them? I don't quite know.
Yeah.
I haven't researched it to
So
actually.
it's actual yoga. It is real yoga, and they just let them climb on you, because goats will climb on you. That's how they are. They are playful animals. They are a lot of fun. My sister-in-law and my brother, they had a new baby goat that I got to play with this Easter. Actually, they have two. And they're just very playful, and it's so good for the soul. I love it. I think anybody would enjoy it.
Well, you sold me out on that, so I'm definitely going to try that.
You're gonna call your husband, like, can I have the baby goat, please?
You know, it's a new eccentricity in LA. All my girlfriends are like, let's schedule a goat yoga. I'm like, what else can happen?
It's fun.
Good to know. What is next, right? Like chicken yoga.
Hey, I would do it. I've got chickens. I'm just saying. I mean,
Oh my God. You know, speaking of, like, I actually adopted a chicken. We had a photo shoot and they were going to butcher it and bring back to the butcher. I'm like, no, I need to save the chicken. And we had a chicken living with us for a long time. And it's the best mental health thing, because, you know, like when you argue with somebody and chickens walk around, you can't literally like be serious about it.
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
love
Well, what you were saying a lot about like being calm. You know, you have an energy of somebody who's like very grounded and very calm. Do you have any specific foods that you use or don't use just for you specifically? You know, like anything
Oh
like
yeah.
personal advice?
Yes. So most of my diet is plant-based. I do have meat once in a while here and there, but not much. Fresh fruits and vegetables. I cook a lot of, like today for lunch, I did like kale, mushrooms, and tofu. And some people think that's gross, but I love it. I cook that all in the pan together, and a lot of greens, a lot of smoothies. I make smoothies with fresh fruit. I try to avoid dairy and gluten. For me, gluten gives me problems, and dairy does as well. So I feel like the closer it is to its natural state, the better as far as food goes. So that's what I try to stick to.
Let's go to Rocco next.
Okay. So I don't know if it's obvious or not, but I'm Italian. And We love our garlic. So growing up, when we were sick and we didn't feel good, our family would take fresh garlic and peel it and crush it with honey. So you literally just uncooked fresh garlic, take off the skin, crush it up with honey, and you just ate it raw, because garlic is a natural antibiotic.
No kissing after, right?
Right. No kiss. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. I guess not. Unless you're both doing it at the same time, then you can kiss. If you have a headache, you can drink coffee. The caffeine will restrict the blood cells and help you with your headache. I'm trying to think of what else. Also, if you have headache, you can take cold cucumbers or ice and put them, or like cut cold potatoes and put them on your eyes. That will have cold on your eyeballs. That helps you relieve with your headaches. Brush your teeth 3 times a day. Morning, basically after you eat, 3 times a day. If you drink lattes or maybe cold teas, drink with a straw, bypassing your teeth. So you suck it not to your teeth, but inside, because a lot of people, if you drink coffee or tea, you stain your teeth with that coffee or tea. But if you have a straw, you can bypass your teeth and get the liquid straight into your throat. So those are my little hacks and tricks.
I never thought about that.
That's so true. Like every time you're on set, they're like, "This is the straw. This is the straw."
Yeah.
How about you, Jeffrey?
Well, during the COVID, my remedy was the the ginger shots. They really work, y'all, because it breaks up the mucus in your system, and people didn't realize that, because COVID, that's what it is. It's just the mucus buildup and it's choking people. So even though I didn't get COVID, when I used to travel to New York and New York Fashion Week and all that, as soon as I actually hit New York, I would get my ginger shots, and the burn is real, but it really truly works. It really, really, truly works. And what I do out of the box that nobody knows I do on Sundays, especially during the summer, because I live in Virginia Beach and there's a resort area, I would literally go down the beach. I would sit where the entertainment is and just enjoy people in the moment. You would get so much joy watching people enjoying themselves on vacation. It's just so therapeutic, because it makes you laugh, because they're in their happy moment. They're drinking, they're enjoying their family, they're enjoying their friends, and you get to see that and experience what they're actually, the joy. So that was therapeutic for me out of the box, just, going down the beach and just sitting and watching people enjoy that moment. I think that's, to me, that's what people go to do anyway, is to enjoy themselves on vacation. It's an outlet. So yeah.
That's so true. Like
emotions
is so contagious, right? We don't realize, like, when you're around somebody who has a very strong, energetic field, like you can take all these emotions and you, like, good or bad or whatever. It's so true. Yeah. I have really weird tips for you guys comparing to what you gave. We used to basically, if you have a hangover, or you like dehydrated, or you have a headache, usually everybody drinks, the juice from the pickles, and that like takes it away right away. So if yes, pickle juice is the best. I swear to God.
I had no idea.
Yes, it's amazing. And also, if you forgot your sunscreen and you're walking on the beach and you have no way to access pharmacy, the best thing to treat the sunburn is yogurt. Actually, plain yogurt without any flavors. You just put it on and it gets moisture to your skin. I remember being in Sahara Desert, and of course I didn't think that it's a desert, and came back all red, and literally was putting yogurt like really, really thick on all my face for 3 days, and it gives you such an instant relief. It's pretty amazing. Another thing that we trained in Russia is to sleep outside in winter. So it's really interesting. Growing up, in our culture, you usually in winter, you go, you make a hole in the snow in the lake, and then you dive in, and then you eat ice cream, and then you go to sauna. So it's kind of training your body to absorb like all these temperatures, and kind of shock it to the point where your body has real immune response to that. So I really think it's really helpful. Like a lot of times in the West, they came out, I don't know if you guys tried it, like cryotherapy. You just go in this chamber and you freeze in like 100 whatever degrees, and it became super popular now. Or a lot of times you do like hot yoga, things like that. So I think playing with temperature is always very interesting. Putting tea bags also helps with inflammation for your eyes. I think a lot of models swear by that. What else? I think that's pretty much it, right? Unless you guys have something else to add.
I want to
all
thank
sounds
Vodka.
amazing.
Oh, vodka, of course. Yeah, vodka, like it's a natural, if you're sick and you don't have Tylenol, just rub vodka all over your body and that will get your temperature down. That's like a no-brainer.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what you said, Jeffrey, that you want to drink vodka?
No, I didn't.
Oh, what did
put
you
it on your
say?
body.
Oh,
I did. I was saying something when you was talking about last week about running. I started running. I went running today. I hadn't did it in over a year. It was so therapeutic. That's why I'm so energized. I actually went running this evening at Mount Trashmore, and I did it. I didn't think I could run the full length. So you was talking about exercising and get back into it. I actually started today, and I'm just feeling really good. Like it's so,
That's
so,
good.
Yeah. So
Talking about garlic, actually, Rocco, like we have in our tradition, you put a piece of garlic in your like in your nostrils. And walk around with it.
Oh, wow. I didn't hear that.
I know. It
That's a
looks
wake-up
very
call.
weird, but it's supposed to like help you clean the path.
It'll wake you up.
Wow. Maybe like the smell of it clears bacteria or something.
Exactly. Yes, natural. Well, I think we're done with our topics, you guys. If you have anything else you want to talk about, I'm curious, if you want to talk about Coachella or anything else coming up, or.
I'm good, actually. I mean, pretending to Coachella, I've seen all kinds of things online, and a friend of mine that lives in Palm Springs put up a really funny post, and he was like, if you want to have the real Coachella experience, I'll rent out my backyard for $100,000 and you won't get any shower or bathroom. You can just have a tent up in my sandy backyard. And I started laughing because I thought that's really funny.
Anyway, well, it's happening this weekend. I heard like a lot of fashion brands are going there, and I don't know if you guys are covering with a network, but I know it became like such a fashion festival.
Right. Are you going to be going?
Not this year. I'm kind of getting ready for Cannes and focusing on that. So, but I love music, I love artists. I think they put a great show with production, and I heard last weekend was pretty incredible.
I've been invited so many times in the past with all access VIP passes. I've never gone. I've never accepted the invitation. The next time I will.
Yeah, the best way is to take an artist pass, and you just go backstage and see the production from artist point of view, and really incredible what they put together.
Right.
Thank you guys for having everybody, and this is the end of the next episode of FNL Network Talk Show, here with Rocco and Jeffrey and Marianne, and hope to see you next week.
Yes.
Yes. Come back next week. Thank you for watching.